I remember when a lot of people used to say, maybe a cliche that, oh, if you know Arabic, then um, as soon as you hear Quran or you're in your next Taraweeh, your heart will be flying out of your chest and stuff. It's
Mm.
important to give people a realistic expectation as well that, you have to pay attention. You have to be in the right frame of mind to receive
Yeah,
some guidance as well. And sometimes you hear the same ayah. It's subhanAllah, it will just go through one ear and out the other, but you might be another frame of mind another time, and it will just start to shake you. And I've always thought, what
yeah,
is the difference between that? Like, I don't know, some maybe in, like, obviously an internal person, like maybe, if your friend died and then you hear something about death or something, then obviously that's that makes sense. But generally something like, I just remember like sometimes an ayah will just keep ringing in your head, and it will be, you're thinking about it all the time. And like I remember just in salah once, I just some وقد خاب من وقد خاب من حمل ظلما. This ayah, I
mm.
thought that like hit me. I don't know why, but
Yeah,
sometimes like something very simple, into from material sense, it will just shake you up. But
yeah.
sometimes the
There's
same
sometimes you can't
ayah,
really put your finger. You can't
yeah,
really put your finger on why. I think that your spiritual state
mm,
affects the power of which you would experience the Quran.
mm,
If you're not really, if you're distant from Allah and you're not really maybe praying your salah on time, and and then you hear the Quran, if Allah wills, you'll be impacted. But
mm,
usually in that scenario, in one ear out the other ear. But
mm,
another day, you're on top of your prayers, being close to Allah. Maybe you give some sadaqah. You listen to the same verse, and you feel like it's penetrated your heart. I think that's one thing. The other thing is that you know what you're going through in your life may resonate with what you read as well. So, for example, Sayyid Qutb rahimahullah, when he wrote the tafsir of Surah Yusuf, he wrote it, I think, after or during his time in prison.
yeah, yeah,
And he said that, kind of thoughts that come to my mind in terms of reflections about this surah, I've never had before. And I can only put it down to the fact that I am in prison and about to come across the
mm,
verses about how Yusuf alayhi salam was once upon a time
subhanallah,
in prison as well. But here's the crazy thing. When I was in Egypt, I remember taxi drivers, Christian taxi drivers, Coptic Christians, they would play the Quran. Okay. And in the beginning, I thought they were doing it because, the Muslim guy sat in my car, so for his benefit. But even then, I
so
was
you,
thinking, why would they even have Quran in their car? Until one day, I got in a taxi and the guy had it on before I got into the
yeah,
car. And they have the tattoo of the cross on their hand, usually on the inside, sometimes on the back of their hand. So I said to him, like, you listen to the Quran. How come you listen to the Quran? You're a Christian. So he said in the slang that I just love to listen to it. And I said, you love to listen to it, even though it's condemning you sometimes. He just smiled at me because I love to listen to it. And I was like, I
I
got
don't listen to
freaked out. I
those
was like,
parts.
what kind of randomness is this? Like,
Yeah,
marvel at the fact that he loves the Quran. At the same time, the Quran is telling you go to the hellfire. And I was thinking, how do you put this together? Anyway, so my point of relating that is
like
to
I
say
do.
that um, look, if you listen to the Quran with a particular mindset
Yeah,
of being a slave, blessed to hear the words of your master, you will be affected, even
mm,
if you don't understand what's being said.
subhanallah. Mm,
So our mothers, many of our mothers don't know Arabic, will never learn Arabic, but yet they can cry when reading the Quran, and you know that they don't understand, and you know Arabic, and your heart is hard.
subhanallah.
So it's not only about
Mm,
what you know. It is about your frame of mind, and that is the most important thing. You read it. Some people read the Quran like a critic, like Orientalists and people that don't like Islam. They read the
يضل
verses
به
maybe more
كثيرا
than we read the
ويهدي به
verses.
كثيرا. Yeah.
Yeah, and they
Mm,
study the verses maybe
mm,
more than we study. But because they've come to the Quran like a critic, Allah doesn't give them anything from it except more misguidance. But if you came to the Quran like a beggar, you would leave with a treasure. And if you feel like that, you would see that what you get from the Quran, maybe, somebody who studied their whole life Arabic and Quranic studies would not be affected as much as you.
So it's
That
open.
doesn't, however, take away from the fact that we all must plan to learn Arabic, so we can study the Quran. But there's just so much we can say about the Quran.